I'm a goddamn superhero. I'm a goddamn superhero. I'm a goddamn superhero.
And we are live. Hello. Hello. I hope everyone can hear me. It's nice to have an actual functioning mic that is not attached to my headset for this game. That's very cool. How on brand is it that it's the last episode? Hi there. Welcome to Crack the Sky Alpha. I am Wes, also known as Brother Wes, also known as Wes Franks. I am the founder of Carrion Comfort Studios, and I am your game master for this evening. And this is the season finale of Crack the Sky Alpha. Series finale? I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll see what happens with this group. So yeah, welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you're here, this is a series. This is part 8. There are 7 parts before this. You should go check out YouTube if you do not know what this is, and check them out. They're all there. Oh, pardon me, burpy baby. On brand that I'm burping in the last episode. If you thought we were going to do this completely seriously, then I guess we were all wrong. But yeah, go ahead and check those out so you can come back to this and you can know exactly what is going on. Because I would much rather you have context than, watch something that you don't have context for. So hopefully that you can enjoy it more. Oh my goodness. Name generator. All right. You said you were going to do it. I told you. I'm going to use that name, and it's going to be dramatically appropriate.
Huge man.
Huge man.
Pronounced huge man.
Huge man. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. No, that is amazing. Great. So before we get into it, because it's not going to be a long night, but we have a lot we got to do. For one final time, I want my cast to introduce themselves. Before they once more into the breach, I want them to go around and I want them to introduce themselves, who they are playing, and then we will get started. Let's start with directly to my left here. Stall.
Hey there, I'm Zachary Vaudo. I'm playing Stall Empyrean, call sign HELLBEAST.
Zeke.
Hey, I'm Zeke Nelsons. I'm playing Saturday Weekender Vesper.
Amazing. Drift.
I am Derek Moten. I am playing Drift Corolla 11.
Amazing. Big Dad.
Hi, I am Ben, known as Big Dad, and I am not playing Huge Man. I am playing Emil King.
Amazing. Cinder.
Hi, I'm Leslee Everett, and I will be playing Cinder Atlas, call sign ICEBOX.
And Oz.
Hey, my name is Oz, and I'm going to be playing Riker Choi, call sign Wrath.
Amazing. You notice that I started by saying Stall instead of Zachary or Zach, and so I just had to start changing up how I addressed you just to kind of make it fit a little bit. I panicked. Last episode, best episode. Hi. All right. So, excellent. Before we get into the episode, let's have a bit of a recap. It's not too long, I promise. Oblivion Unit-01 of the Vulture Brigade. Profit over prosperity. A private military mercenary corporation hired to go from the fringes of the known space all the way to the very core to handle the best of the best jobs, nothing too dangerous, nothing too high of a price or low of a price to take care of. We're called to the planet of Corellia, an ice planet, to help out the NSF, the New Solidarity Front, with a bit of a trouble they were having. They were being attacked by the New Humanitarian Coalition, and they needed help until they could get reinforcements and supplies back. Oblivion Unit-01 were sent with this cast of characters here. They were sent to go ahead and provide support for the NSF. During that time, they were able to fight off an attacking force on the NSF base Daler's Fingers when a giant worm burst through the ice. This caused them to scramble and then attack and then realize that things are not as they were displayed and are not as they seem. They were given a briefing by Captain Lily Doyle. And then they went through a series of jobs, including investigating the ruins beneath the base, finding someone who had been seemingly possessed and entranced by this crystal structure below. They found cocoons, which housed human insect hybrids a la Dead Space, like the necromorphs in Dead Space, to which those attacked and caused tons and tons of property damage, white-collar crime, as well as death and destruction. The group was able to form together, work, and be able to fight off the massive horde, which include bringing a massive ceiling and a cave structure down, turning a mountain into a bowl, essentially. During that, their sergeant, their CO, Heracles Garza, aka Dropshot, was taken by another giant worm, and to which they gave chase, finding a society of people that lived in the tunnels of Corellia. That leading into, oh my god. All right. All right. But if it was it would be called the Caldera. That's right. It would be a Caldera. But they gave chase. They did not investigate the group that lived in the tunnels of Corellia, but they came out where the worm, where the worm had distributed itself from the ground, which was nearby the NHC base. After some times of discussion about what they were going to do near the NHC base, they were beckoned to come inside, where the NHC displayed that they had their CO, Heracles Garza, captive, and they wanted to talk. There they were introduced to the Six Skulls, a rival private mercenary group, and a deal was offered between the NHC and the NSF to fight these bugs so that they could have a more unified front against the main menace. Enemy of my enemy is my friend, so to speak. While the group went to go take care of a comms relay problem, which allowed long-range transponders to finally work so that reinforcements and supplies were sent down, a deal was made, and the NHC and the NSF had a joint base of operations set up. There, the Oblivion unit came back from their comms relay to be told by Heracles Garza that the Six Skulls wanted him to shack up to bunk with them and to get used to being around each other. A very sexually charged, tense beach volleyball game ensued after barbs were traded between certain members. And we learned a little bit about each of our Oblivion unit members, as well as each of the Six Skulls, including that Stahl and Riker are not who they seem, that they might actually be clones. Stahl might be a clone or might be the progenitor of a super soldier program called Onyx. Riker is definitely a clone that was utilized by the NHC. With that information, there was an understanding between the two, a sharing and opening up about who they really were. And we had our group seemingly starting to get along with each other until finally rubble in the night rumbles, the ground shakes like it does on Corellia, and in the distance a giant worm loomed with a man riding it, calling himself Father Rasputin, with a horde of hybrid human insects ready to attack the NHC and the NSF. Goodness gracious. All right. And I think that's where we left off. So I'm going to press this button, which is the battle music. And we have you all here together. I've got the Schmeppy up. And I am going to introduce somebody. Can you see that?
To say the least.
A giant worm. Quite like the giant worm that you saw before that took Heracles Garza, but it seems that some adornments have been added to it. Metal plating. Thick cables and wires weave in and out of its skin, its flesh. The mouth, massive, rows of teeth line it with different pincer-like structures on the front, but the pincers have had metal attached to them to make them a little bit more supportive, to say the least. To describe the scene before you, the NHC and the NSF are scrambling. They are getting fighters in the air. They are getting soldiers on the ground. They are working as a horde is preparing to attack the base. The 6 skulls are all scrambling to get to their mechs. You hear a klaxon go off. A frigate, which I am going to draw here, lays on the ground. I'm just going to use a red here to fill it in. Broken in half. It was an NHC frigate that was attempting to take off that did not quite make it. There we go. Thank you. Boom. All right. It's a little off-center, which is perfect. Sick. You are all here. I'm going to allow you to kind of place yourself how you see willy-nilly. I've got other tokens set up for everybody else. So how we're going to be doing this battle is I'm going to be describing things that are happening around. What is essentially going to be happening is this. Heracles gets on the comms, tells you all, I have to help coordinate the attack from the other side. I have to help Doyle. I trust you all. I need you to take care of that bastard that's on top of that worm. In this battle, y'all are going to be doing battle with the Baron. The 6 skulls are going to be weaving in and out of the battle, trying to help you. And the NHC and the NSF are going to be dealing with the hybrids that are on the ground and everything. It's going to be happening in tandem. To make sure that this was done so that we had a smooth season finale and that we were able to have a dramatically appropriate mission or a dramatically appropriate session, but also have some combat, I wanted to focus on this looming giant worm. After each of your turns, a portion of the worm is going to do something. Now, some might say, Wes, how can this one giant thing take multiple turns after each of your players? Well, it is so huge, and it also, if you notice, there are giant tentacles that have burst off of the side, almost like big of those manapedes, or those mammapedes, have burst off the side of it. At the end of the initiative line, Father Rasputin will take his turn. We all on board?
Hell yeah.
Perfect. So, as it has been this entire series, how it shall be until the end of time, until they drag me away, ICEBOX, you were the first to go.
Yep. So what Cinder is going to do is move a little bit forward. She's gonna move to I moved the map instead of moving me. She's gonna move right about here.
Perfect.
Sorry, I'm having a cat problem.
Now you've got multiple lads. It's okay.
I know, and they're very attention-seeking right now. Okay, and then we're gonna shoot missiles at it and do my full action to shoot a missile barrage at the worm.
Go ahead and roll for me.
That is a 18.
An 18 does hit. What sort of damage do you do with your missile barrage?
Explosive.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. And what is the damage level for that?
It is 1d3 plus 1.
1d3 plus 1. Go ahead and roll me a d6, and then half it, and then add plus
Got
1.
it. Okay, so that is 4.
In the new Matador, as you ran to the hangar for C&H, you hopped in. Matthias Herschel was already there waiting for you. He goes, "Hey, go, kid. It's all ready for you. Get going."
Thanks, buddy.
You hop in, and you burst out, and it's like Gundam. You have arms out, jump jets kind of burning behind you. The rest of your team is coming, and you stop. And it's one of those moments like you see in the anime where all the ports open on Freezer Burn, is what you're calling the Matador?
I named it for her.
Yeah, I didn't name it that, but that is what its name is.
You do see a little sticky note inside of it that says, "Enjoy the new ride. It's called Freezer Burn. You can't change it." Oh, yes, that is correct. You should be a size bigger because you are the Callista. So you should be the size.
I am a big boy now.
Yep. ICEBOX and I are both bigger.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And I can also act as full cover, which I let the team know.
Perfect. So you move up there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on now. Don't fight me. Perfect. All right.
Ooh.
You move up there and you stop, hands splayed out of the arms, legs splayed out, and a missile barrage shoots off, turns, twists, and you hit the side of this worm, and it makes a giant shriek as it turns its attention to you. And you see one of the metal plates pop open on the side of this big worm. And a tum 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 shoots out as you see these small pellets start flying towards you. What is your evasion?
It is 10.
10. All right. You're kind of getting ready to dodge, and before you can move out of the way, these pellets explode in front of you. But it doesn't damage you. It seems that they are chaff rounds of a sort that boom, 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 boom explode all around you, and there's almost like confetti of sparkling spirals in the air, and your sensors are going haywire. You're going to be rolling at disadvantage until your next turn against this guy. Or for your next turn, you're going to be rolling disadvantage. Not until your next turn. Excellent. All right. Next, we have on the docket. No, not that. Don't make another token. We don't make tokens yet. We've got our very own, you know him, you love him, HELLBEAST. What are you doing?
From inside the dock, there's this sound like a chainsaw revving up as the Callista mech, codenamed Ifrit, takes full movement out, which I believe would bring me to about there if I did my calculation right. Actually, that's a little bit less than full movement, but it puts them within. It puts the Baron within burst 2.
Okay.
And the chainsaw sound is the motorized Tetsubo sword that's just trailing behind it. And as I land, just a big fucking arc over into the air and hits the ground for a sweeping blow.
A sweeping blow, amazing. I like to imagine that the Tetsubo sword is in like imagine those. If I'm correct, the Tetsubo are like the handle with the the eyelet on the end of the handle, and it's like just like a big hunk of metal, right, on the end of it, and it has little flared up little notches in the sword. They're about the size of a human. They're not little, but for the Lancer, and the chains are moving, and they're shifting, ever shifting, as this sword is ever shifting and manipulating and moving, and you can see a little bit of smoke trailing off of it as you go and you make a sweeping
And
strike.
I stopped short of the worm because I'm not trying to actually directly engage with it, but I put it within burst 2 range.
Okay, perfect.
Which means it's going to have to save, I believe.
Perfect. All right.
It and Rasputin have to pass a hull save.
Ooh. And what is your save?
I don't have a hull save, so I imagine it's they have to meet their.
They have to
hull
meet
save.
their own set hull save. Correct.
I believe so.
Correctamundo. Let me bring them up.
We have a save value.
I don't see a hull save on mine unless there's a general
Well, you,
save.
what's your
target.
save target?
Let's find out. Oh, there's just so many numbers on this thing.
Yeah. Once you
Next to your E defense.
E defense, thank you. Oh, there. A save target is 12. Thank you.
12. Perfect. And what happens if they make it?
They'll take half damage.
Perfect.
Of what I'm going to roll.
Okay. So we're hitting for 12. That is a natural 20 for Rasputin, but that is a miss for the Baron.
Okay, cool. This is going to be fun. So, Rasputin is going to take 6. What is it? He's going to take 6 kinetic damage,
Okay.
but he's okay.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the Baron is going to take 9 kinetic damage and be knocked prone. So, from underneath Rasputin,
Okay. Perfect.
it's about to fall flat.
You see this Baron, this worm. You hit at the low point where the worm is coming out of the hole, and there's a
Right at
crack.
the ground.
Yeah, just right on the ground. There's a crack, and you see there's a maneuver, and you see Rasputin, who you realize is in a mech of sorts, but the mech has like a bubble domed head. It looks almost like an old cosmonaut kind of deal. It's a bubble domed head, and it just looks like an extension of a human body. It looks like one of those Anthem suits, but it's just big. And you realize that his head is just being projected onto this bubble dome. It is his head that's on the inside, so it can like shift and look around so you can see him. This looks like old Lancer tech. This looks like it's from 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. As you smack the ground and the worm starts shifting and starts falling over on its side, you see Rasputin, who was holding on to this, very much like Dune, holding on to this kind of lasso kind of deal, or like this reins that were buried into this mech, lets go and starts free falling off of it, and utilizes, well, doesn't utilize anything yet because it has come to his turn, but he starts falling off of it as the worm hits the ground, and there's a like that, as ice and dust kind of settle on the ground, and you hear a rumbling and a grumbling. And
I just yank the sword up out of the ground and just hit it again to keep the motors revving on it.
Mm-hmm. And it's they're spinning, they're maneuvering, they're twisting, and you see there is a seam on this side of the worm, and it starts opening, and you see a mass of tentacles come out of this seam and start wrapping around. And what is your evasion?
My evasion is 9, and I still have 1 movement left.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. So go ahead and give me a d20 roll and add your grit.
That's a nat 20.
Perfect.
+2 plus my trigger bonus that I have, so that'd be the 24.
Perfect. So these tentacles kind of shoot out. It's almost like Akira, where it's just like a mass of like muscle and tendon just shoots out the side, attempting to grab what knocked this worm down. And you just dodge out of the way. And there was another one that was kind of anticipating your movement, but then you pirouette out of the way as well. And like Ifrit almost kind of does like a back bend like that. And the tentacles recoil, and you can see them all kind of pulled up, almost like Hydra-esque. They're all looking at you, and they are thick, ropey, muscular tentacles, but on the ends they have grab mouths that are undulating and pulsing, that have teeth on the edge of them, and they look hungry. It's pronounced Akira. So amazing. Excellent. All right. Off to the side, ICEBOX. Roll me a sensors check at disadvantage, please. Drift, you're on deck.
How do we do disadvantage?
Roll a d6 and subtract.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, that's an 11.
11. There's a shifting of ice to your right, but you're kind of focused more on this giant worm. Excellent. All right. Drift, what are you doing?
I am landing smack in front of this motherfucker.
Perfect. Pinto, you were on deck as well after the enemy turn. You were landing smack dab in front of this guy. Boom. Parts shifting.
Alright. And I am attacking with my charge blade. And I'm attacking, I'm doing like the whole like barrage, like charge blade, segment knife.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Shock knife.
The wombo combo. Yes, of course.
Yeah. The 3-blade throwdown.
3-blade throwdown. I love that. That is a perfect name for your maneuver.
But so all right, let's see. I'll roll an 8 on the charge blade.
Yep.
I'll roll a 7 on the segment knife, and I'll roll 8 on the shock knife.
Amazing. All right. That is 1 hit for your sword. Go ahead and roll me damage, please, sir.
All right. Let's see. I got a 12.
12. All right. Boom, boom. All right, sick. You go to attack with your knives and your sword, doing this 3 combo, the whole tossing up, catching it, everything of that manner, on the side of this worm while it's on the ground. And your sword only manages to make it through its thick carapace. When you do, a noxious gas comes out of the side of it. I'm going to need you to roll... what is your E defense, actually?
E-defense is 6.
Excellent. Amazing. Okay. As this noxious gas kind of spews out from when you stab in the side of this worm, you kind of stagger back a little bit, prepared for something, and you expect there to be coughing inside or anything of that, like you yourself being affected, and then you look at your HUD, your heads-up display, and you just see one one warning sign going off saying joints locking up. And we see a camera pull to the side of Drift's on the legs and on the arms, and you see rust slowly starting to form on the joints. But You're not completely affected yet. That will take a couple of rounds to go into full effect. So if you decide to take care of that, then excellent. Perfect. All right. And you look up towards you, like towards up on the other side, and you see one of those manapedes that were growing out of the side tries to come down and launch at you and attack. And let me go ahead and pull up, because I've got you right here. Under my skin. I've got you under my skin. Neck hanger. Boom. Alright. And I just want to clarify, your evasion is 14, correct?
16.
16. Okay, perfect. Alright. That just hits. You take... That is... Okay, so it's halved. Round down. So that it's going to be 5 HP damage. And if your armor cuts into that at all. It is not armor piercing. But as these like teeth, these pincer-like things of these manipede latch on and scratch down the side of your lancer, your baby, so to speak. Boom. All right. There's that. Okay, Pinto, it is your turn.
How far away is Father Rasputin?
Father Rasputin is... Let me go ahead. Is in the air currently.
Why?
That's true.
About 6 spaces.
About on
Seven?
this side. Yeah, about 7 spaces away from you in the air. So you would have to make upward movement and then over to get to him.
Okay. Alright, so I can't reach him at this point. Then I will activate my core system.
Okay. Excellent.
To get free boosts till the end of the scene. +1 accuracy on all attacks, checks, and saves. And I will boost towards the Baron.
Amazing.
And I will. The massive tentacles that came at Stall, are they still out?
Yes, they are still out. They're
I would
writhing
like
around
to-
like a hydra.
I would like to launch a frag grenade into that.
Okie dokie. Is that a roll of evasion on my part?
They
Or is-
must pass an agility save
Amazing. Got it.
or take half damage. The save number is 12.
12. All right. That is half damage. Go ahead and roll
that'll
that.
be 2 then.
Boom! As a frag grenade shoots out of one of the ports in the side of your mech, and then a grenade goes off, and you can see the hydra of tentacles go. They shriek almost, and they pull back, but then they reform, getting ready to attack. You can see some burn markings on them.
And then I will skirmish with my heavy melee weapon, the fist,
All right.
on the Baron proper, and that is a 17.
17, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Awesome. I am expending a charge on my thermal charges to boost my damage even further. So now I have an exploding fist.
Amazing. As you're doing the whoop, 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 you're running, and then you do a jump, and there's some hang time on your fist, and then you see some boosters behind your fist on your mech's arm go off to give a little bit of propulsion onto your
13
fist.
damage.
13 damage.
Explosive damage.
As you rocket into the side, doing a explosive Superman punch into the side of this thing, and you hear a katoom, and then smoke kind of forms a bit.
And my personalization while boosting pyro is going off. Think like helicopter flares.
Just the
That's why all our flares are missing.
Yep. Oh god, amazing, perfect. Just a pum 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 pum. Amazing. You punch the side, and you punch like one of the metal plates, and it punches a hole, and some of the metal goes into the side of this worm, and it screeches. And you look at another metal plate on the other side, like up a little bit, and then it opens up, and you see there is a cannon. What is your evasion?
My evasion is is 10.
Amazing. That is a 16.
That is.
As a ball shoots out of it towards you. It pops open in 4 different places as you see an electrified netting wraps around Pinto. And it like clings around you like cling wrap. And you're just like trying to move against it. And then it turns on. And there is a quick jolt of energy as you take... that is going to be... 6 points that are not mitigated by armor to your HP. As a
Joke's on you, I don't have armor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're just like, oh god. As you're just shocked. But as soon as it shocks you, it like stops for a second, and there's just smoke coming off of you, but you're still kind of tangled up. It seems like it's a one-time thing, though. All right. So we've got Drift, Pinto, HELLBEAST, ICEBOX, all here in a little grouping. You are next, Weekender, after this maneuver. ICEBOX, that shifting of ice you didn't realize, breaks apart, and you see what looks like the other end of this worm has popped up through the ice, and there's no mouth or anything. There is just a capped part of it. And it looks like it's a metal capped part of it. And it looks like a metal structure that's been built on the end of this worm. And you see what looks like a cannon that's built on the end of it, swivels, turn towards you, and looks at you, and then turns on. What is your E defense?
It is an 8.
E defense is an 8. Okie dokie.
And this is a tech attack?
Tech attack, correct.
Okay, just checking.
I don't like that.
Mm-hmm. You're not gonna.
Just checking. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you heard me the first time, but I said I don't.
I know.
It scares me. It scares me.
Maybe should.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe should. Do you succeed?
I do succeed.
Okay.
And there are no known effects just yet, but you do feel like there has been a purge in your Lancer's system.
Okay, a hostile tech attack or attack action against your mech succeeds. I would like to activate Punchy Counter Intrusion Spike. So I immediately become stunned until the end of my next turn, but the attacker takes 4d6 AP energy damage. From a massive feedback spike, it must pass an engineering save or become stunned until the end of their next turn, becoming impaired and slowed until the end of their next turn on a success.
What is your save?
I believe it is a 13.
You said 4d6?
Mm-hmm.
You see a plume of smoke come from the gun that fired at you. And then that tail of the worm starts whipping around violently. Like it is being shocked by lightning. That's where we're going to leave it. Weekender!
Weekender, yes. Okay. So, Wes, where on the map is that tail? Can you make a marker for that?
I am making one as we speak.
Fantastic.
Perfect, if I can. Perfect, yeah, that is close enough. T is for token.
Make sure I line this up properly.
We're gonna say it popped up over here. And I'm just gonna mark it as tail.
Sure.
Okay.
Perfect.
Alright.
It says Taylor for some reason, but you know what? I like it. The tail's name is now Taylor.
Alright.
We're
We're
leaning
gonna
in.
find out. We're gonna find out this is tail A, and we're gonna wind up with tail B later.
Stop! Okay, so, first thing I'm doing, I am moving... moving one space over here. And I need a hologram token.
I
Spot I
already
just left.
have them set up right here. Boom, hologram token.
Okay. And I'm going to fire my Veil Rifle in line 10, passing over / through ICEBOX and hitting Father Rasputin.
Okie dokie, go ahead and make that roll for me, please.
Okay. I'm going to do that as a skirmish.
Yeah, that technically will not hit Icebox because you're aiming towards the air.
Yeah, but I say Rasputin's still falling.
Still
right?
falling, yeah, still falling.
Okay. That is +1 plus my grit. 14?
14 to hit. 14 just misses as a charge goes off through, and you see, like, as he's falling down to the ground, there are some planes that are flying and trying to drop, like, charges onto the hybrids that are on the ground, kind of like swarming around. He grabs onto the wing of one of the NHC planes and kind of swings out of the way. And he's still falling, but he did it to try to catch his fall. And you hear over your comms, "Not so nice."
Okay. Well, that didn't work, but that's okay. That was only part 1 of my plan.
Okay, I was about to say, what else you got for me?
Part 2 of my plan is... Let's see, hold on, let me see the exact words here. Yes, okay, so anytime I'm moving,
Okay.
I can hover.
Okay.
Is he... You know what? It's burst 3. It'll hit him, regardless. So, what we're gonna do is... because I'm sure he's not more than movement 3 off the ground, considering he's been falling for half a round. We are going to move. I decided. Alright, so this is going to finish off my movement. We're going to move here.
Okay. Dupe.
And, of course, leave a hologram behind me.
Got one place there for you already.
Okay, and I very carefully measured while everyone else was taking their turn that I could do this here and it would not hit Pinto and Drift.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to activate my Stun Crown.
What does your stun crown do?
Expend a charge to create a burst 3 flash of light. All hostile characters within the affected area that have line of sight to you must succeed on an agility save or become jammed, and a system save or become impaired. These effects last until the end of their next turn.
Got it. What is that save that I'm trying to hit?
13.
13. That is a 19 on the first one. Is it the tech or whatever? The sensors check?
It's an agility and a...
Systems check.
Yes.
So he is impaired.
Okay.
Perfect.
The worm also has to make these saves.
The worm is only going to make a systems check.
Okay.
And that is a 17.
Okay. And then, so I was able to do that as a free action.
Okay.
So I fired my Veil Rifle, I fired my Stun Crown. I'm going to also skirmish with my prototype weapon and try to hit Father Rasputin.
Okay.
Right. And this is +3. That's a 16.
A 16, that hits.
All right. Oh, actually, that's a 17. I forgot that I always get +1 when I fire with this. Okay, and that's going to be 1d6 + 2, 4 damage.
4 damage as you go ahead and you fire into him as he's about to hit the ground, and you can see there's little crackles of lightning on his mech, and then you fire into the side and you kind of move him closer towards the worm. Perfect. All right.
Okay, and then last thing I want to do. Let me just make sure. So that, okay. You know what? I think we're good. I'm going to go ahead and hologram teleport back to my starting space next to Wrath.
Perfect. All right. You're going to hologram teleport. Boom, boom.
And I don't think the other two will explode, but I don't think they hit anybody.
No, they do not. They do not. I'll go ahead and move these off to the side here as you move back to Wrath. Good maneuver. All right. Pinto, Drift. Go ahead and give me saves, agility saves. You're trying to meet or beat 15. For punishment of your crimes against Rasputin and the Baron, Weekender, your friends must suffer since you have run, turned tail like chicken.
20.
20? Perfect. So you'll take half damage.
Oh, I got. Oh, either one of us?
Both of you. Yeah, both of you. Yeah, both of you. What did you get?
I got a 6.
You got a 6? Perfect. All right. Okay. Okay. So that's... All right. You are going to take 3 damage, Pinto, and you are going to take 6 damage, Drift, to your HP as the worm, starting to maneuver around, lets off a shock against it.
Worm is still prone, just for note.
Yes, the worm is still prone. Yeah, it's on the ground. Since it's still prone, it's doing these defensive maneuvers because it can't do active attacks. So it lets out like a little electric, as you see the metal panels kind of thrum and hum, and then they let off an electrical charge on you. So that's 6 damage, and that's to you, Drift, and that's 3 to you, Pinto. Last but certainly not least, how could we ever forget about our very, very special boy, who we're all very proud of him, Wrath. What are you doing, my man?
That's great to be here, first of all.
Okay.
Second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my 3 movement forward. So it's going to put me right here, just in front of ICEBOX.
Okay.
And this one goes out to everybody in the chat. I'm going to use my walking armory ability to swap all of my ammunition to Sabbat ammunition. You might say, what the hell is that? Well, Sabbat ammunition gains armor piercing and deals kinetic damage. So all of my attacks this round are armor piercing and kinetic damage.
It's what I would call a bunch of bullshit, but I love it, and I love what you're doing.
It's essentially a bunch of bullshit. So my first attack roll on my assault cannon is a 21. I'm going to go ahead and use that.
Sabbat
and
is
I'm
real.
assuming that's a hit.
That is a hit. Yes, 21 is definitely a hit.
And then my second attack is a 12. Does that hit?
12 does not hit.
Okay. So that is stellar. That is 8 armor piercing kinetic damage. But I'm actually not done yet, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a free action to make another concussion missiles attack.
Perfect.
So I'm going to go ahead and roll for that. That is a 14 to hit.
Okay. 14 to hit. That misses.
Okay, cool. So just 7, and then I'm going to quietly cry in my mech while I think about my own mortality.
Perfect. You love to see it. The tail that is gesticulating and shaking because it has its plan of attack is going terribly wrong has another one of those metal ports open up. And you see a gun pop out of the side of it. What is your evasion?
Oh, my evasion?
Yeah, your evasion, kid.
Oh, well, I'm not good at evading things at all, but my evasion is 7.
That's right, you are a chunky boy. You are a chunky lad.
I'm very large.
As you see a coiled chain attached to a jagged metal harpoon shoot out of this tail and immediately hits the joint of your mech, your lancer. And it starts trying to pull you. On your turn, you're going to have to make an initial check right now, but on your turn, unless you sever this chain, you're going to have to make a roll to try to resist being pulled towards this tail. So, I'm going to need you to go ahead and roll an agility, add your grit, or a d20 roll, add your grit, please.
Ooh, it's a natural 3, so that's like a 6.
You see this little port on the side that has a cannon starts having like rotating gears on it. I want to reiterate for you all, this tech that is on the side of this worm looks ancient to y'all. It is not sleek, it is not 3D printed, it looks like somebody has applied this with screws and gears, and I don't think you've seen a gear or a cog wheel in a long time. And it starts pulling, just a tut, and you can see Wrath. You can see his mech just straining against it and being dragged through the snow, being pulled toward this tail, where you see there is one of those other seams on the tail opening. And there's no tentacles. You just see a jagged mouth with undulating teeth, almost like a sarlacc pit, open, ready for a snack, a Wrath snack, so to speak. Rasputin. It is his turn. He's got to make an agility. He is impaired, though. Does that mean he acts with disadvantage? I believe I am looking at the reference now. I believe so. I've got jammed, stunned, shredded, hidden, exposed, invisible. Come on now.
Impaired.
There we go. Thank you.
Impaired characters receive +1 difficulty on all attacks, saves, and skill checks.
Perfect. All right.
Did you get jammed?
Did not get jammed. Did not get councilman jammed.
It's important to note, jammed makes it so that you can't use comms to talk to other characters, but it also makes it so that you can't use attacks other than improvised attacks. So improvised attacks, grapple, and ram, and you can't take reactions or benefit from tech actions.
Okay, good to know.
It's brutal. It's very mean.
All right. So, boom. All right. At the very last minute, you see Rasputin falling, and you see jets go off to slow down his fall as his mech just hits the ground. And you just see it kind of lay there. And then almost like a marionette, like a fucked up marionette, you see the arms stick up, move over, push up, and it rights itself and kind of like spins around a little bit. And then you see it grab a staff-like thing from its back that looks like an upside-down Eastern Orthodox cross. You would know that as a player. Your characters would not know that. And the head turns around, and you see this projection of a man with leathery skin, bags under his eyes. He is missing teeth, greasy black stringy hair, greasy black beard. As he looks over towards all of you by the worm, and he goes, "You are on my planet. You do not belong here. You have disturbed my children. Time for you to die. And the mech hits a switch on the side of the staff, and you see a scythe, like a laser scythe, pop off on one side of it. And then on the opposite end, opposite side, another scythe blade pops out. And he spins it around, and he starts making his way towards HELLBEAST. So I'm going to do that. Let's see his movement. Ooh. Let's see, there is that four. Okay, he's gonna get there just touching, just enough to kiss you. And he is going to run up, and he is going to try to do 2 overarching strikes as you see him doing almost like a Cossack dance of like dropping down on one knee, swirling one leg around, trying to attack at your bottom, and then bring another attack over top. What is your evasion?
My evasion is, I lost it 9, and I still have the 1 movement that I didn't use from the previous one. So
Perfect.
I will happily, like, just as a reaction, boost straight up in the air my Type I flight system to dodge the first one that goes at my feet.
Perfect.
And burn that last movement, but I have to not get hit by the second one.
Perfect. All right. Yep. So that first one you jump masterfully over, and then he goes, "Shit."
I'm still hovering at this point, so I'm now taking heat. Because my turn will be ending with that.
Yeah. You take heat. And he brings down the scythe on the other side, and it strikes into the hole, and you take... That is 5 points HP damage, and it is armor piercing.
Okay, so ignore the armor.
Ignore the armor.
Okay.
As it hits into it, and then he brings it back, and he looks around. You can see the head, and the head just kind of swivels around on top of it, and there's steam coming off of it, and he goes, "A worthy opponent. Let's see what the rest of you have." The rest of the battle around you, you can see the NHC and the NSF fighting around you on the ground. There are these hybrid creatures, and it is very much like Starship Troopers, where it is a bug hunt. You see a lot of the soldiers that are firing automatic weapons into these things. You then see one of the 6 skulls fly overhead that is tussling, what appears to be a manapede that has wings on it. As you see Killer be killed, grappling with this winged beast. And you see off the back of Killer Bee... So Killer Bee's mech looks like a bee, almost. It has it has a stinger on the back. It has wings. It has like 4 arms on it. 2 have guns, 2 have actual hands proper on it. And on its back, you see boom, 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 rows, just 6 things burst off of it and surround and start cutting into this massive winged creature. And you can hear over open comms, you just hear, "Get off!" And then the thing is ripped in half, and they do a pirouette, a turn in the air, and you see a NHC fighter swooping down, being attacked by another one of those winged things, and Killer Bee slices it in half, falling down through the air. And then you hear, "Oh, geez, thanks, Bee." And like, "Don't worry about it, Hugh." And she flies off, or they fly off. And that fighter goes off. You see Uno in a White Witch mech, things swirling around almost like a storm, engaged in combat with what appears to be a smaller one of these worms. Not as big as this one, but it is a smaller worm that is writhing on the ground and moving like a snake, striking out and trying to hit Vyacheslav Han's mech. Vyacheslav's mech being a massive, what's the word I'm looking for? One second. Pull it out. A massive, what looks like a nuclear reactor on legs is trying slowly to punch this worm, but it's writhing about, and you see Uno, her and the White Witch, just throwing what seems to be like light lances at this thing, like grabbing them from the air and throwing from it. You see Heracles is flown in from Malcolm, and you see Captain Lily Doyle's piece of shit mech is on the other side of it. And you see them both kind of drop off of Malcolm's dropship onto an overlooking, like gorge, like a little, not gorge, but like a cliff side. And immediately, Heracles, who has had some adjustments made to his mech, brings out that sniper of his and brings up almost like a pillbox of sorts, a 3D printed barricade, and starts setting up a sniper's nest. And Lily Doyle is acting as a scout, essentially, for him, calling out different targets to hit. We come to the top with ICEBOX. What are you doing?
Nothing, I'm stunned.
You're stunned. Perfect. The tail has another one of those side panels open up. And Wrath, your evasion is 7. ICEBOX, I have your evasion right here. Booyakasha. Booyakasha. 6. Sick. As you see a nozzle kind of spurts out a lot of that acid that you saw came from the Mammapede. As you both take 7 points of damage to your HP as the acid spews on you both. HELLBEAST, it is your turn now.
Yeah, so the first thing that happens is something that was actually supposed to happen during Rasputin's turn. So we're gonna just go ahead and start off with that.
Oh yeah.
So right after he hits me with that melee attack, and he's doing his worthy opponent shit.
Yeah.
There's a noise that kind of sounds like that noise from Godzilla when the tail starts lighting up bit by bit. That
boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
And there's a sudden burst out from my ERA layering that deals 2 explosive damage to him.
Oh my god. All right.
So the moment he finishes that sentence, you just hear, and he gets 2 explosive damage, followed immediately by a very annoyed Stalin going, "How's this for worthy?" And I clear my 3 heat with explosive vents straight down on him.
Whoo! It's getting hot in here, and it's actually hot.
For 2 heat and 2 burn on top of him, on top of the 2 explosive damage.
I've got a t-shirt on and I've got the AC running, but it's still hot in here. Jeez. All right, let me mark that as he puts an arm up, and you can see the burn just moving over him, forming and crystallizing on his arm and everything, burning into it. And he goes, "No, niet."
Now then.
There we go.
So the Tetsubo is on the ground when I had to jump up in the air, and my bad, the Tetsubo is actually one of those big spike bats, so the motorized bit is the spikes that are spinning around on it.
Perfect, yeah.
What I pull out now is the chain sword.
Oh, okay, so yeah, okay,
So off the bat comes the ripcord, another ripcord sound of a chainsaw, as I just drop my type I and come straight down on him with the Mahaquitl chain sword.
Amazing. Go ahead and give me an attack roll, please. Meet or beat 15.
That's gonna be 17.
17 hits, roll damage.
All right, and that's going to be just the most beautiful thing. So that's a 6, plus 4 for 10, which means I now roll another 1d6 bonus damage for 5. So he's gonna get 15.
Jesus Christ! You see a portion of his armor just gets melted off as you start hitting. You drop down, and then you do another strike and another strike, and he's trying to keep up. And you knock off a portion of his armor, and you can see more smoking coming from his mech.
Yep. And if you give me just a moment, I have my second action.
Okay.
which is the Tiger Claw.
Ooh!
So I come down with that, and then I'm just going to come uppercut as the free hand claws just pull out the fingers and just come straight up the front.
Straight up
that one,
front.
That one is going to be a 16.
16. That definitely hits.
And it is going to deal 4 kinetic damage.
4 kinetic damage. Amazing. All right, I'm going to mark that. Whew, he's getting beat up here.
Yeah. And then that's when the motorized Tetsubo, the magnets on the back just go and reattach it to the back of the Ifrit.
Amazing, amazing. Just real quick succession attacking, all that stuff, like move it back, and he's like kind of stuttering around, and he looks like that, and the dome circles back around to you, and he goes, again, more.
Stahl
more.
takes the chain sword and just revs it up again.
Perfect.
For another swing.
Perfect. Amazing work. All right. Weekender.
Yes.
You see a mouth open on the tail. What is your evasion?
My evasion is 17, but I'm also considered invisible.
When did you make invisible?
Whenever I move or boost, or whenever I boost or make a standard move, I project a holographic pattern around myself, leaving dazzling after images that make it hard to discern my precise location.
Okay.
I count as invisible the next time I'm attacked.
Okay. Let me just go ahead and double check and make sure. Look at that. Have a 50% miss chance. Roll 1d6. 1 through 3 causes a miss. Got it. Okay. Sick. It's still going to go off, but it is a there's a 50% chance that it's going to miss. And that misses, as you see spikes shoot out, bony spike protrusions just narrowly miss you as they hit the ground, and you can see they are cracked, and they have this kind of irradiating green color leaking from the crack.
Gross.
Very good that you were doing that. Okay, sick. All right, Drift, it is your turn.
All right. So I'm gonna slash at the worm with my Sigma knife.
Okay.
We get an 18.
An 18, that hits. Also, is the prone action over with now that it has been your turn? Stall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah. It's not like prone. It doesn't say prone until next turn. I think it just has to actually,
Has to actually
use
get
effort.
up and move. Okay.
Yeah, it has to
perfect.
use effort to get up first.
Perfect.
So I think
All right.
I'd probably be like one of its actions or movements or whatever.
Sick. Okay. Just wanted to, clarify. Amazing. Thank you. All right. 18 to hit. Go ahead and roll damage for me, brother.
I got a 4.
4. As you start cutting into this, just like, just slicing into this. Anything else you got for me on your turn?
Oh yeah, and then I just pull out the rail rifle and blast straight into it.
Amazing. So imagine you pull out this segment knife, CQC, and then you put it back and you grab out the rail rifle and you just hold it up against the carapace of this thing. Go ahead and roll to hit. Meter beat 15,
right.
Please.
I got a 22.
Ooh, that is critical. So go ahead and do the critical damage dance for me, please. So you roll your damage dice twice and choose the highest half.
Okay. Let's see. You said roll it twice?
Yeah, roll it twice and pick the highest. And then, yeah.
I got a 6.
6. All right. As you bring out your rail rifle and then and it pushes you back a little bit, but you stop yourself with your booster and you get down to a 3-point landing, ready to attack again. That angers it, and you see it rise up, and it uses its turn to move up, bringing us towards Pinto. Pinto, first thing I need you to do is roll me a d20 to try to escape the clutches of this cling wrap, please.
I rolled a 25.
You immediately just cut through. There's something that pops out on your arm, and you just cut through the metal strands of the net, and the net falls to the ground useless at your feet. What are you doing, Pinto?
I'm really upset I rolled a natural 20 on that.
Yeah, thank you for using one of your 20s on that. That makes me happy.
So I will do pretty much what I did last time. I will deploy another grenade.
Boom. All right, at the tentacles.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Save target is 12 on agility.
Yep. I'm gonna have tentacles right there. See that? It looks like tentacles, y'all.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. All right. That is only a 2.
All right, that's 5 damage. Explosive.
As you see a couple of the tentacles flop to the ground, they writhe a little bit, and then they just kind of steam in the ice, in the snow. Anything else you got for me, Pinto?
Yes, I will skirmish with my heavy melee weapon again, the fist again.
Amazing. Go ahead.
Into the big worm.
The big worm!
That is a 26.
26. Roll that critical dice for me, please. Good rolls out here. Good rolls, y'all. Very proud. I do need to move Wrath a little bit closer. There we go.
That's 18 damage.
Oh my god!
I rolled 6, 5, 6.
So as you drop one of those frag grenades and that explosion goes over, you bring your other fist into the do, and then just jam into it. And your arm goes into the side of the worm, and then you rip it out, causing a huge gash in this worm. And it screeches and it squeals. You see one of the manapedes on the side goes to snatch a NSF plane that flew overhead, and it slings it down towards you and Drift. I have y'all's evasion here. Perfect. As the last thing you see before this plane collides into y'all, you see a little painting on the side, almost like it's an old 1940s bomber, that just has a bunch of dogs on the side of it, and the name of it is Pack of Stray Dogs Loosen the Ship, as it smacks into the ground, and you two take 9 points of damage. Go ahead and use your armor to nullify that. I know you do not have armor, Pinto. Sick. All right. We're rolling right along. Next we have Weekender, and then Wrath, you're on deck.
Okay, I'm going to be really annoying this turn, and I'm very sorry. So my first action is I'm activating my Oasis Wall as a protocol.
Okay, Oasis Wall.
So I can only move in straight lines, which is generally what I do anyway, so
okay.
That's fine. But everywhere I go, in addition to leaving a hologram behind me, you also have to trace a wall behind me, and that's going to be permanent hard cover until I take it down.
I have my edge tool pulled out.
Okay. So, first spot we're moving. You're moving one space. Say here-ish.
Okay, as soon as I see it, I am prepared. This is what my... So did you move over and then up? We're gonna do over and up.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's straight lines. So typically Lancer uses hex maps, but I do not have a hex map on hand with Shemepi. I hope that's an update that they do later. So instead, in that, we're going to have that. This is forming permanent cover, though, as you see, dash over, dash up. Perfect.
Okay. So while I'm at this spot, I'm going to fire my Veil Rifle, and it has line 10, and it's going to be going through ICEBOX, Rasputin, Drift, and the Worm.
ICEBOX, Rasputin, Drift, and the Worm. Oh, okay.
ICEBOX and Drift will be getting does not attack allied characters. It instead shrouds them in a field of coruscating energy that throws off targeting systems, giving them soft cover until the end of their next turn.
Soft cover until the end of their next turn. Sick.
Yes.
I'm going to put a tiny little thing here Boom.
Okay.
That is not what I was supposed to do.
But specifically to targeting systems?
Yes.
Soft cover to targeting. Word.
Yes. Okay, and I rolled a 16 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. Does that hit both Rasputin and the worm?
That hits Rasputin, and that hits the worm. Yes, indeedy.
Okay. Should I roll damage for them separately, or just roll damage once and it
You're gonna roll damage once, and it applies to both, just so we can keep this merrily rolling along. Also, you left a hologram as well.
Yes. That's going to be 4.
4. As Rasputin hits the side, the head swivels around and goes, "You wait for your turn. I must finish with your friend first." And you hit the side of the worm. The worm shrieks. It is being perforated with holes. Y'all are Swiss cheesing this worm. That one's for Cinder.
Okay. Now we're going to move again. It's time to... Let's see. What's these? So we're gonna do it. Okay. So that's up and then over. That's gonna be another 2. And I'm going to use my segment knife.
Okay.
And skirmish and cut through the harpoon chain.
Okay, go ahead and give me a d20 roll. Your attack roll.
That is a 20, exactly.
All right, go ahead and roll damage, please.
Okay. That's going to be 3.
3. You cut through that. You take 4 points of damage as an electrical jolt goes through your knife into your mech. As you're shocked, as you realize there were small cables in the chain.
Ah, gotcha.
But Wrath is free from said chain.
Okay, good. Well, since I'm here, and since I skirmished with one of my auxiliary weapons, I can also attack with my other auxiliary weapon. So I'm also going to send out a little Nexus gun.
Okay, your
I have
Nexus.
a range of 10, so I'm going to plop it directly in between, like, right in between Rasputin and Pinto. So it's got the ability to shoot at both Rasputin and the worm.
Got it. Nexus.
And I will roll damage for that. Let's...
You're hitting Rasputin?
Yes.
Okay.
It's gonna be...
Roll to attack.
I'm just trying to... Nexuses are smart weapons, so they get a +1. I get +2 from my grit, and I get a constant +1 to my accuracy. So that's +4. That is going to be a 13.
A 13.
I think that barely misses.
That barely misses, indeedy. As Nexus goes off and Rasputin ducks and goes, "You with your tricksy cannons, your witchcraft, I shall rend you in 2.
Okay, so we have used 3 of my movement.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go... That's going to be 2 more movement.
Okay.
And then... Let's see. I have... This. Okay. I will move 1
Okay.
here, and then 1
Shit.
down to here. Okay.
Oh my my god, you're just fucking moving all over the place, aren't you?
Yes, I have 7 movement. That's the one thing I'm good at.
Jesus Christ. Alright.
Alright, and then since I can...
How did I not make enough tokens?
I'm going to tell Astucious to strike code that greasy motherfucker.
Got it. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. It's gonna roll against his tech defense. Doesn't seem to work.
Alright. That's fine.
Boom.
Since I am already invisible, we're gonna go ahead and make ICEBOX invisible with a Mirage.
Perfect.
And I think that'll be it for me.
Perfect. You still have your little invisible field BS on you, don't you? Perfect. Okay,
Yes,
cool.
I do.
All right. Boom. All right, Weekender. That's gonna happen. Boom, boom. Wrath.
Actually, one last thing.
Oh
I
my
would like
goodness.
to Overwatch with my
Overwatch?
prototype weapon.
Prototype code. Sick. What area are you overwatching?
The general area around Rasputin. Basically, if he does anything, I'm going to shoot him.
Perfect. All right. Sick. All right. Next attack. Pinto and Drift. I need you to each give me d20 rolls. Add your pluses, your grits, everything like that as you see these tentacles strike down on you.
10.
Can I add stay cool?
10? Yeah. Go ahead and add your skill trigger.
Alright. That is a 18.
18. 18. Nice. And you got a 10, Pinto? Tentacles latch onto you and hold you and stick into the ground, holding you into place. Drift, you cut through them with your segmented knife. They seem to be holding you in place to keep you to the ground for something coming. Wrath, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm going to do a lot this turn, I'm sorry.
Okay, just go ahead and roll through it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to move over here. Just kind of get in the way of everybody and activate my core system.
Okay.
So that is Fortress Protocol. I become immobilized, but I benefit from hard cover even when I'm in the open.
Yep.
I'm immune to a bunch of stuff. Basically, effectively, I'm Colossus right now.
Yep.
And then I get these 2 sections of hard cover that fold out on either side of my mech.
Indeed you do.
I'm going to have both of those facing the Baron so that anybody who hides behind them gets all the benefits of hard cover.
Boom.
Beyond that, I am going to use a free action to steady my aim.
Okay.
And I am going to make a barrage attack.
All right.
I'm getting that pulled up right now in ComCon. So I'm going to use my heavy melee weapon, my tactical knife, and my tactical, what's it called? Those crazy swords. I'm just going to use standard ammunition.
There we go. Yeah.
So first attack's a 12 with my assault cannon. Does that hit?
It is a 12, you said?
Yep.
Does not hit.
Okay, that's a miss. So second attack's going to be with my heavy melee weapon. That is going to be a 19. Does that hit?
That does hit.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and attack. That's a hit. Okay, so that is 13 kinetic damage with my heavy melee weapon.
Oh, you rocket into the side of this thing.
Perfect. So he is now going to gain the Exemplar's Mark.
Okay.
And then this is the final thing on my turn. So this is just something everybody needs to know what it is. You have I have the Valiant Aid reaction. It means that you, until my next turn, can re-roll any attacks you make against the Baron. So you can all just re-roll them, but you have to use the new result.
Yep.
That's it.
Sick. Excellent work. Anything else you got for me, Wrath?
That's it. Appreciate you.
Sick. All Rasputin on his turn looks at HELLBEAST. He's going to try to make an attack against you. Your evasion is, one more time for me. 9. As he brings down in a just like a twirling move, cuts into you twice, taking 5, 4. That is 9 damage, armor piercing.
All right, and then boom, 2 explosive damage.
Against him, and he goes, "Oh, this senseless heat, this flame. Time to bring you into the frozen clutches of your tomb." And he just like looks towards the worm and goes, "Ispe ito." And he is going to disengage with you.
Wes?
You
Before he does
shoot.
that-
You shoot. Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
I shoot. I
yes.
got a 17.
17. That hits. Roll damage.
Okay, that is going to be a 7.
And you acted, so that means your invisible shield goes down, right?
No, it stays up until I'm attacked.
Okay, perfect. All right, I take that damage. You shoot him. He turns and looks over towards your direction. Seems like he's scanning. He goes, you just hear him say, "Churl." And he moves towards you. That is the wrong thing. And he's got to roll a d6. That is a 5, so that means that he does attach. Your evasion is what?
17.
17. That is a 23.
Ooh.
As he puts the scythe up and wraps his arms around you, and you can smell oil and that insect kind of smell, and he whispers into your ear and goes, "It is just you and me as your friends descend to a new hell." And you look up at the worm, and the worm goes stock still straight up into the air, and then starts teetering over like a skyscraper falling in a line about towards your invisible image right there, just past ICEBOX, as it's trying to do like a crushing move. I need each of you to roll me an evasion d20. You have to meet or beat a 17. Pinto, you are attached to the ground. Wrath, you are immobilized. You both roll with disadvantage.
All right. Luckily, I
Meter-
had advantage.
Meter beat what now?
Meter beat a 17.
What kind of, is this a save?
It's a save, indeed.
18 thanks to combined
Perfect.
triggers and whatnot.
I've got a 10.
10? All right. What did you get? You got 20?
Yeah.
Nice. Is that with the
My,
disadvantage?
My advantage and disadvantage cancel out.
Excellent. Love it.
23.
23? Sick.
Yeah.
A 19.
A 19.
Hot damn.
Hot damn. Summer in the city. Weekender, you're not hit. You're dancing with Rasputin.
And because it was missed on me, I get to move 2 spaces in any direction as a reaction, and I'm gunning
Perfect.
for Rasputin.
Perfect. If you passed, you take half of 18 damage. You can subtract armor from it. If you did not pass, you take 18 damage. Everybody but HELLBEAST, Rasputin, and Weekender start to fall as the worm cracks open the ground underneath you and brings you through, and it seems that there is a chamber that you start falling into. Now, since you succeeded, you do not take fall damage and you're able to land. As you come into this big cavern, and you see arranged all around you, there are what seems to be Cyrillic letters inscribed all over the floor. There is a crystal that is dangling off of a chain that is broken now. There's a hole in the ceiling, and you see there are statues all around that look like this greasy man that all have the crystalline portion inside of them. They are all humming and thrumming. We're going to cut a little bit from normal initiative, and we have just HELLBEAST, Rasputin, and Weekender up top. HELLBEAST. Rasputin has his back to you, and he has Weekender in his grasp. Weekender, Rasputin is starting to squeeze your small mech. He is giving you a bear hug, and he is going, "Your tricks, your drones, your fucking magic witchcraft do not work against the might of Rasputin."
Oh, so he's got him in a bear hug?
Yep.
Great.
Can I react to that first, actually?
Y'all figure it out amongst yourself who's acting first.
Is that okay?
You can give it a shot, yeah.
Okay, I just want to start off by making a quick action to teleport to the space closest to the tail.
Perfect.
Is the tail still there, by the way?
The tail has descended into the ground as it comes up, so there's just a massive hole there.
Okay. Well then we'll call this a simultaneous thing, because as Weekender is teleporting, I use a full action to initiate explosive grapple on Rasputin, which means. Oh wait, no, sorry, never mind. Misread that. Ignore that.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, you're teleporting near that hole.
I am teleporting to right here, and all of my other holograms explode.
Yeah, just all around.
Mm-hmm.
He's attached to you. As you teleport.
Oh?
Yep.
All right, I'll take
He
it.
teleports with you as he has got you in a bear hug. And he goes, "You tried to slip. You. What's that in there with you? Not just 1, 2, 3? And he starts squeezing. I need you to give me a d20 roll.
All right. Add grit or just straight d20?
Add grit, please.
15.
15. You start pushing against and straining against. And when he's got you straining at your most, he lets go. And you burst out, and he opens up his hands like that. Stall, you have an opportunity to do something. As you look down and you see the core of his mech is starting to glow.
Yeah, so I'm boosting.
Okay.
I'm boosting behind him, and I am wrapping around him.
Perfect.
Basically grabbing him by the arms and just closing him back on top of himself.
Perfect. All right.
And this is where I'm going to do my full action. So
There you
now
go.
that he is grappled by me,
Okay.
now I'm initiating explosive grapple for 6 explosive damage onto him.
Perfect. All right.
I am now impaired until the end of my next turn, but he's also grappled.
Got it? Yep.
And because I saw the rest of my movement, I'm just going to go, "Why don't you come with me?" And I'm rocketing backwards towards the hole where everybody
Towards
just
the
went.
hole everybody just went. Sick.
Yep. And I'm using however much movement it takes to get over to it, and then I'm dropping my type I to just free fall us both.
To just free fall. Yeah, you were doing a fucking pile driver into the fucking chamber below.
Yep.
Sick. Weekender, you see Stall, HELLBEAST, Ifrit, so to speak, more colloquially known in these parts, grab Rasputin, and you see like the surprise on his eyes as he gets dragged back and dropped into this hole, and you see what was aimed at you was this center little port rocket a laser into the sky, clipping an NHC plane and shooting it down, and it starts rocketing down. He was going to expend a shit ton of energy he'd been building up by being attacked a bunch by Stall into you. Stall, good job. You kept Weekender from getting massively blown apart by a massive laser.
We'll see what happens when I hit the ground.
Yeah, and you just start falling, rocketing. Each of you look up into the sky as you see Stall, Ifrit holding onto this Rasputin character, the worm looking and bristling
And if I can at all, I want to rotate us to fall into the worm.
You want to fall into the worm?
I want to drive Rasputin and myself into the worm.
Perfect. All right.
Okay. Well,
Go ahead and
obviously
give me a...
following them.
Yeah, you start following. Give me a d20 roll here, Zach. Add your grit. Add
I'm
skill.
going to add show off.
Perfect.
20 total.
You start maneuvering him towards... And you're going toward the mouth of the worm, right?
I'm going towards whatever I can hit. If it is
Just
the mouth,
whatever
then
hit.
even better.
Okay.
But, if it's the mouth, then even better, because that just means we can do some explosive stuff like in the esophagus, but I'm just aiming for the worm, so I'm just
Perfect.
corkscrewing us
All right.
in the air.
Corkscrewing in the air. All right. We're going to say
Is it gonna drop?
you're going to go into the... Yeah, you're doing a fucking... what is the United States a smash right now into the fucking side of the worm.
Flames shooting off the shoulders.
Flames shooting off the shoulders, and right before you hit, we're going to hit that anime commercial break, and we are going to go ahead and have a bio break real quick as we get more water, and we go use the restroom, and we take a stretch. So we will be right back. Do not go anywhere as we go ahead, and we're getting into the second part of this, and I think it's going to be great.
I'm a goddamn superhero. I'm a goddamn superhero. I'm a goddamn superhero.
And we are back with more Crack the Sky Alpha on our finale. Thank you for sticking with us with our little issues there. As you can tell, we have taken the Schmeppy map down. That is because for what we are doing, we don't really need a map. Where we're going, we don't really need a map. But we have to resolve something real quick as we come back from our commercial break. Stahl was rocketing Rasputin's mech into the side of this worm. Stahl, what happens when the mech hits the worm?
I'm honestly just... I don't have any actions left for this turn, unless this is going to count as the next round. So I am just... Yeah, I'm just angling to see if I can spike us into the side of the worm to cause the worm damage and to just drive Rasputin into pain.
You smack his mech into the side, and you're dragging along as you're both falling, and you're holding his bubble head up against the side of the worm as you're dragging down, and it is cutting a swath into the worm, and you can see it cracking. And then finally, you both collapse and hit the ground. You are going to take 7 halved, so 3 points of damage. And
is that my armor factor in at all?
Armor does factor in, yes. Indeed.
Okay, yes, I take 1 point of damage.
1 point of damage as you hit the ground. Because you got a successful roll, you're kind of able to nullify most of the damage. Yeah. And his mech hits the ground, and the bubble dome cracks, and you just see there's a bunch of circuitry, like old cogs and gears and like old circuitry, just very, very old, and it cracked in the ground, and he is laying on his back, and the worm is shrieking, and it stops, and it turns and looks, and it crutches down. You're all prepared in this circular chamber to attack the worm, and it looks down, and it starts nuzzling the mech. Are y'all doing anything?
I'm getting up and I'm activating my core system.
You're activating your core system? All right.
Yep.
The mech that Rasputin is in is laying on its back on the ground, and the cockpit opens up, and it is a as it opens, and you see a bag fall out of the side of it, and then an arm raise up and holds up a white flag. As you see this man stand up that is wearing a tattered black cloak and a Mandarin cut style suit that has patches sewn into it. And he looks just like the image that you saw on the mech, greasy haired, greasy beard, leathery skin. And he has both of his hands up as you're in this chamber.
I kill the engine on the chainsword just to stop the reverberating that's going on in the cavern.
You see the worm is coiled, but it moves down beside him and nuzzles the side of him, and he goes, "No, niet," and he pats it. It's big. It's massive. Almost like Paul Muad'Dib. stroking one of his worms. And he looks and he goes, before we continue, I figured that we could potentially talk. You're muted, Stall.
Sorry, I'm gonna hit a repair capacity on my mech and just open the front. So it's repairing at a 1 repair per structure damage, thanks to my core capacity, and the front just opens as the flames like die down off the shoulders.
Sick. He climbs out of his mech and just kind of like struggles down, and he's breathing heavily.
I would like to prepare an Overwatch just in case.
Of course. Noted.
I'm gonna sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Overwatch reaction, you just do it when it shows up.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say I'm not clearing my heat. I'm just doing the repair action on the structure damage that I took from the previous
Sick.
worm hit.
Sick.
I'm gonna hit the comms. I imagine there's some sort of like external speaker thing mechs have.
Yeah.
And have my assault cannon pointed at him. We don't have anything to talk about.
Let him say his shit.
You do not know. You do not know where you stand.
Where is he in like relation to all of those statues and everything? Like we're not in the middle of that, are we?
He's in the very middle of it.
He's in the very middle of it?
worm is off to the side, but where he and Stall hitted, oh goodness, Wes, he is closer to the middle, and Stall is off to the side a little bit. And I imagine y'all are kind of all in a semicircle around him, standing near these statues. All the statues are pointing towards the center with those kind of like crystals in it, and there's that big crystal that hangs above.
So we managed to avoid that crystal in
Just
caving in this.
Yeah, caving in. It's dangling. It has like a metal like circular like structure on it holding it up, and it is dangling by 2 chains, and it is swinging. It's 2 true like 2 chains swinging, and but the 2 other chains that were holding it were crushed when the worm knocked you all down in this chamber.
Yeah, so I'm just sitting like I said, front open, just let him say his shit.
All right, while they're doing all that, I take my real rifle and I aim it at the crystal.
Aim it at the crystal. Good.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Pinto would like to email pictures of this place to his dream friend, his dream daddy, if you would.
Perfect. You start emailing pictures of this place to your dream daddy, Bran. Dream daddy. Daddy's gonna dream.
When are we reskinning an RPG to that game?
Don't test me. I'm already reskinning.
Monster Hearts Dream Daddy.
I'm already reskinning Monster Hearts to fit into like an old senior living center. So might as well start doing a little bit of daddy work with it too. Okay. So he looks around and he goes, "This place has come before me." And his voice echoes in the chamber, almost unnaturally. "I too am like you, an outsider, an off-worlder. I was sent here, rocketed from my own time. I was lost, scared and alone, and I found one of these chambers. Statues of me. I was confused, but I started studying them. The language fits close to my own, until I found this chamber that you seek here. The place, the holy place which you caved in, was only an annex to this room. None of you belong here. Neither do those that live in the tunnels, and your squabbling forces that are fighting above. I do not even belong here, but I have been chosen as guardian."
Who chose you?
He looks up at the crystal, That did. Or they did. And he looks around the
Guardian-
statues.
Guardian of what?
This place. To make sure that these creatures never leave the surface.
Huh. So, you're telling me the entire reason you're here is to make sure that everywhere else stays safe from what's here on this planet?
Everywhere but where I wish to go. That is it. I wish to go back and seek revenge.
Revenge on what?
On the force that tried to ruin me. Tried to eviscerate me from the face of this mortal coil. I was stabbed, poisoned, shot, hung, and attempted to be drowned. Then I fell, and I arrived here.
Sounds like overkill to me.
I agree.
Sounds
You
like
said-
somebody had a really good reason to want you dead. And why should we trust you exactly?
You shouldn't. But you shouldn't
Good, 'cause
trust
I
the
don't.
you shouldn't trust the forces that you fight for above. Neither side.
What
You know
proof
what?
do you have otherwise?
Some of my children have gone missing. Not the ones that you have eviscerated and killed. Larvae. Babies. Stolen. At first I thought
that surprised me at all.
At first I thought it was the HC. But I learned that they are merely just studying to try to build their own form. Mechanized, what they call nano versions of my children. But it's the NSF, for which you fight for,
Damn it.
that takes samples. Now, you're perfectly able to strike me where I stand here. Devastate this creature, and he looks at the worm and touches its side, and it murmurs, it almost coos at him. Or you can make sure that none of these creatures, majestic as they might be, leave the surface of this planet. The choice is up to you.
I think you're right about one thing. We can't trust anybody. I'm gonna shoot him.
All right, go ahead and roll.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually gonna take, because I don't want to miss.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take crack shot. It's
Okay.
protocol. Gives me advantage. Okay. Actually, I'm not gonna shoot him. I'm gonna use my tactical sword.
To cut him down?
Yeah.
To strike him down?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and...
Half.
That is a 19.
Don't even have to roll damage, as you just cut him straight down in half. And he looks up at your mech, and he almost has a smile. And the last word that leaves his lips before you strike him is just, fool. The worm roars.
That was ominous.
Shit, and I'm closing the mech back up now that it's repaired. And just flame shooting back up to rev it back up to activation.
I'm gonna hop on comms and issue an order, and anybody who does anything related to this order gets bonuses. I'm gonna say, we've got to make sure none of these creatures get off this planet.
It's gonna be a hell of a lot harder now. They're gonna be trying to. And I pull the Tetsubo off the back and just crank it, and the spikes start swirling on the side, on the top.
I'm going back to back with HELLBEAST with my sword. Let's go.
You'd have to go through the worm to get to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The crystals start powering up in the room.
Guys, I think we should make haste out of here.
ICEBOX, what are you doing?
I think Cinder wants to fire her missiles at the crystals.
Go ahead and
try
roll.
and destroy them. Yeah.
You just have to make a 10 to succeed.
Okay.
You get
That is an
advantage.
18. Oh,
18.
Okay. What does advantage do again?
You roll
add a D6.
Add a D6.
Okay, that's a 19.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Okay. Sick. Are we all still here? Okay, yeah, okay, cool. You'll froze real quick. As you just open up again and start unleashing, what crystals you're firing at? You got a missile barrage.
The ones that are like in the little statue hands.
You start firing at
Around
them.
the room.
And they're hitting and they're cracking, and the statues, and they're cracking, but they're not completely being destroyed, but the statues are being destroyed, but the crystals are still there. And you see as the statues are being blown away by these missiles, that the crystals are being held in place by metal rods that thrum, and they look like, almost like electrum, kind of have the color of electrum, almost, an alloy. And the worm is reeling and screaming, and it grabs Rasputin's mech, picks it up, and slams it towards Wrath. Wrath, your evasion is 7, correct?
Yes.
It's an improvised weapon attack. There's that. Mitigate your armor damage from 7 HP. So add your armor to nullify that.
Okay, what type of damage is this?
It is kinetic damage. As you're having a mech hit against your own mech. It is metal meaning metal.
I am resistant.
Okay.
So I take
half damage.
Yeah. So 3, and then my armor.
Yeah.
It's 0.
0? Sick. All right.
0.
Perfect. As it just hits it against you and it's holding it up as a weapon. What are you doing, HELLBEAST?
On the comms, I'm saying, like, because I'm the one that's behind the worm and everybody else is in front of it. I'm just gonna go take this shit out and get out of here. And I'm opening up my chest and expending a fuel rod, firing straight at the worm to clear my 4 heat.
Perfect.
To try to distract the worm.
Perfect. You do that. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me to hit. It does not take a lot.
I'm doing the barrage.
Oh, barrage. Okay, perfect.
So the first one is gonna be 14. It's gonna be 16 to hit.
16 to hit. That hits.
Yep.
Roll
okay.
damage.
It's a 1d3 plus 2.
Perfect.
So 4 damage.
4 damage. Amazing.
Yeah. 4. What is it? Energy damage.
Energy damage. Even better. As you just shoot a rod.
And then I'm gonna do the tiger claw.
Strike against it.
Yeah, and that is gonna be 17.
17. Go ahead and damage for me.
Yep. Jesus. That's 4 kinetic energy.
4 kinetic energy. As you cut against it, it starts thrashing, and it is beating around the room. And each time it beats around the room, you see the crystals are starting to grow brighter. You are launching a barrage at them, and it seems, ICEBOX, that they are taking their cue from the main crystal that is hanging overhead. As you can see that rays are starting to form from it down.
And I'm trying to draw this worm's attention. I'm repeating, like, break this shit and go.
It turns its head towards you, and it opens its maw with its pincers, almost like a thresher maw, and out of its mouth come tentacles with those little grabby mouths at the end of it, and it's going to try to attack you. Stall.
Right. My evasion's 9.
Perfect. All right, that's 2 hits. That is you getting hit, and Hall & Oates Man Eater playing on the radio. Kidding. Okay. Sorry. And that you take 9 points of damage on your HP as it batters against you, and it is scratching on Ifrit and trying to coil up around you.
Okay, and then that's boom, 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 two explosive damage right back at it.
2 explosive damage. It
actually make that 4 because my Berserker drive is active from my core.
From your core system, exactly. Perfect.
Yeah. So just a big explosion, but I've got its attention off of you guys and on me. So keep it up.
Perfect. All right. Next, after Stall, is Drift. Drift, what are you doing?
I am attacking those chains that are holding up that crystal.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll me an attack, good sir.
But the way I'm gonna do it though, I'm gonna do my barrage. So
very good.
Shock knife. I'm gonna throw my shock knife.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna use my rail rifle.
Perfect.
All right. So I got a 14 on the shock knife.
Okay, that hits.
All right. Let's see. Danny. I got 1.
Perfect. Doesn't take much. Go ahead and roll your rail rifle. As you pick up your shock knife and you toss it, and it hits across the chain, cutting a little bit of it, and you bring out your rail rifle to fire on it.
Mm-hmm.
On the other chain.
Okay, so I got a.
And you get advantage too.
You do get advantage.
So add a d6.
Add a d6, yep.
Okay. Let's see. Alright. Let's see, that is a 16.
16. All right. That hits. Go ahead and roll damage. 7. Sick. All right. You cut through one chain. One chain is still dangling, holding on, that you managed to cut a little bit with your shock knife. You bring your shock knife back to your hand. This worm is going to use its rampage move. So that is going to be moving through Pinto, Weekender, Stall, and ICEBOX. I need each of you to make an agility save. That save target is 15. Meet or beat.
I'm good.
Sick.
I'm good.
I got a 17.
Sick.
14.
14. Sick. All right. Stall. Mm-hmm. You take 16 kinetic damage as it bowls through and hits into you, and it starts bowling through you and knocking all of you aside. Stall, you don't get knocked aside. You get pushed up against the wall.
All right. I'm using my reaction to negate structure check.
Perfect.
And regain my HP.
Sick. Amazing.
Right, I'll go boom back here.
Back into it, and you can see its maul against the glass of your lancer, and it's trying to cut through the glass. You have never been this close to a worm like this before, and you're seeing inside of it. And you notice. Give me a D20 check real quick. Let's call it a perception check.
18.
Has Stall ever seen a wormhole before?
Probably, mostly on TV.
It's almost like there's a small wormhole inside this worm as it's trying to eat you, but it bowls. The rest of you take 8 kinetic damage as it kind of moves you aside.
Overwatch reaction?
Yeah, go ahead.
I am unloading my combat shotgun into it.
All right, boom, boom, boom.
That is a 20.
20, amazing.
To hit.
Yep.
And then 9 damage.
Amazing. You start unloading into the side of it, and it turns. There's a Stall-shaped hole with Stall, Ifrit-shaped hole with Ifrit into it, and it turns and looks towards you, Pinto.
Awesome. That's exactly what I wanted.
All right. Next, after Drift, we do have Pinto. That was your action, correct? Oh, that was your Overwatch. Reaction. So now you have action since you used your Overwatch reaction.
How big is the crystal? The hanging crystal.
Hanging crystal is about the size of a Volkswagen Beetle.
Cool, so I can pick that with my size 1 mech?
Yep.
I would like to break the chain and then just use my boost to drive it into this thing's mouth.
Amazing.
Like a touchdown.
Go ahead and roll me a d20. Add your grit. as you zoom up to grab it and then turn and try to shove it into this thing's mouth.
That is a 20.
You grab this crystal that has been glowing and arranging with other crystals, and you turn and you jam it into this thing's mouth. Stall.
Yep.
You see this happen. And from the holes that are perforated in this worm where y'all have started cutting into it, you start seeing a glow happen. Pinto, you feel your arm starting to be pulled into this thing.
I'm about to use a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I see the glowing. I feel it. I can feel the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking straight at everybody and just going, run, and I'm activating Flash Anchor on Pinto. And he is knocked back by Flash Action. By Flash Anchor.
We're at full speed.
Yep. Just full speed. Boom.
Boom. So what y'all start seeing is Pinto is starting to be pulled into this mouth.
How does that react to my flares shooting off while I boost?
Those are just firing off into the walls as you go backwards.
As you go backwards and you're flaring off, the worm's mouth is being pulled inside of it as you see the crystal is starting to react with what was inside this worm, and it starts twisting and manipulating and turning and forming like a helix of an infinity sign over and over again, and it starts pulsing and it starts pulling Pinto in, and Stall just looks and you hear over comms, run, and Stall does the fucking open palm strike into Pinto, which pushes Pinto back, and it is a concussive force that cracks some of the walls of this place, and it knocks him across the room closer to the escape hole. What are you all doing? We are out of initiative. As Stall, you feel yourself being pulled closer and closer to this helix. Each of you are.
Saturday is going to say, because, so my mech is size 1/2, so I'm pretty close to person size.
Yeah.
So Saturday is going to pilot Casino over and hover as close as they can get to Stall.
You're gonna get pulled in by this thing if you get close. This is out of character. You're gonna get pulled into the vortex thing.
Well,
I think it's a bad move.
Right. As close as I can before, when I feel it starting to pull on me, I'm going to stop and gonna say over comms, Stall, eject, I'll catch you.
Storyteller, how, this thing that's pulsing and pulling, I haven't played Lance before. Is there a way to do a general sensor reading on this thing, or do you have to actually have a skill to do it?
No, yeah, you can do a general sensor on it.
Okay, so it's just a D20 plus...
D20, and then try to meet or beat your sensors, I believe.
Okay.
What it is.
So, sensor brain. Okay, sensors are. Yeah, I did. I got 13.
Perfect.
I'm trying to get a sense. I'm trying to get a sense of basically what this thing's about to do. If I can even track that.
You have your live stream going off, and it's go HELLBEAST, go. You're looking at the chat and everything like that. You see a video call come up of your manager, come up, and you bring up a sensor and you put it onto silence, where it's still ringing, but you can't hear the ringing of the video call come up. And you pull up the sensors real quick, and you're looking over it, and this thing is essentially a gravity well.
Yep.
It's pulling everything in at probably 50 megaton a second.
So right back over the radio. If I eject, I'm getting eaten by this thing. Get the fuck out of here.
And y'all see some of the creatures that were in these hallways that you were kind of focused on everything start getting pulled into this gravity well, and one flies past you, Weekender, and past Stall, and it hits this helix, and it folds in on itself. You see it on a atomic, molecular form just fold in on itself, and then just pop, and there's a bright array of color. And I need to know what you were all doing. as you start seeing from the hole, parts of the rock are getting pulled into it. Other insects on top are getting pulled into it. You see an NHC plane is getting dragged, that flew overhead is getting dragged in. So what are you each all doing?
So I'm gonna take 2 quick actions.
Okay.
I'm going to eject and self-destruct my mech. So I'm going to set my mech on a course to go inside of this thing.
Okay.
And I'm gonna set it to go full-blown, all-day nuclear, and I'm gonna try to hop on to the back of ICEBOX.
Perfect. ICEBOX, what are you doing?
Well, when she's gonna try and leave, but when she sees that Wrath is gonna try and attach to her mech, she's gonna, when he gets there, grab him and then put him. She has an expanded compartment in the Matador, so she can bring Wrath Wrath in with her.
Perfect. Drift, Pinto, what are you two doing? Pinto, you got rocketed across the room. Drift, what are you doing?
I go over comms and I go, it looks like y'all got everything together. I'll catch y'all outside. You know?
Book it. All right. And then Pinto, what are you doing?
Stall, if you make a hole in the roof of this worm, I can get you out. Or if I make a hole, can you get out?
I got nothing firearm on me. I'm all swords.
Oh, if I make a hole, will you eject?
This thing is going to pull me back in. And I'm now looking at, like, I don't think I saw Wrath eject, so I'm seeing Wrath's mech come towards me.
I'm seeing
Weekender hover in front of me, and I'm seeing Pinto like yelling at me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look at Weekender, and I'm going to say, tell Riker I said goodbye, and I'm going to do a barrage of explosive vent, and I'm going to take the motorized Tetsubo and jam it straight down on the ground. I'm attempting to break the ground beneath us, the worm and myself.
Perfect. All right. I need Weekender. What are you doing?
I rolled a 23 on my machine mind. I want to have both Astucious and Eruditus working on, is it possible for me to save Stall? Us.
Yeah. So, I need each of you to roll a d20 for me, please. Depending on where you are in this room determines how difficult it is for you to do each of your tasks. For you, it is just a basic machine check for you, Weekender, because you're not doing anything to try to get pulled out of this gravity well just yet.
Okay. 17.
17.
So, I have a question about the roll.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Exactly what is it for in my
it is you aiming your mech towards the it's just like a general aim, so you can aim towards ejecting towards freezer burn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I use my survive trigger?
Yes.
Cool.
On my roll for jamming the Tetsubo into the ground, that was a total of 22.
Jesus.
And I rolled 12 kinetic damage. Oh wait, sorry. One of them is a 6, so 16 kinetic damage plus the 2 heat and 2 burn to the ground beneath the wormhole worm and myself.
Perfect. What did you get, Drift?
Since it's ice, I'm superheating it with the explosive vent.
A 17.
17. What did you get, Weekender? Or not Weekender, Cinder?
25.
25. And what did you get, Pinto? You're trying to make a hole, correct?
Yeah, 16.
16. Things happen. You bring up your shotgun, Pinto, across.
Or my explosive fist.
Your explosive fist? Are you just going to launch your explosive fist like off of your arm into the... Because you would have to go above the well to punch a hole into the... Are you going to try to punch down from the surface down?
Yes.
Okay, so you go up, you leap up in your mech. You're far enough away. So you do succeed in that, and you run over to where you think it is, and you take your fist, and much like Avengers Age of Ultron with the Hulkbuster Iron Man thing, your fist starts doing the pneumatic punching into the ground. It's doing that boom, 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 the go to sleep, but it's trying to break through the ground. You're just breaking.
14 damage on the roll.
That does matter. Drift. Hop on the wall, hop off of one of the crystals, and then hop up into the top, and you're ready. You're on top of the surface, and you see things are starting to get pulled down. Weekender, as Wrath launches, ejects right at you, you grab him, hold on to that plane that is getting pulled in. Or not Weekender, sorry. ICEBOX, sorry. ICEBOX. You go ahead and you grab onto that plane and use its momentum to launch yourself as you grab Wrath and put him in your extended compartment, and then launch yourself through the whole 3-point landing out of it. Weekender. It would take a 25 for a mech your size to possibly, especially after what Stahl has done, to have any chance of grabbing him and saving him, but it might risk you in place. Or it might risk both of you. As you see Wrath's mech hits the side of this gravity well and starts folding, but it's really big, so it's taking a little bit longer than one of those like little hybrid creatures. And you see Stahl take that Tetsubo and then jam it into the ground, and the ground starts crackling, and you can see the worm body and the gravity well is starting to fall, and he's starting to fall. So if you are going to try to attempt to grab him, you have to roll at least a 25 to do
plus 2 bonus damage, actually, on top of what I said, because Berserker Drive, so I just split the ground.
Yeah, sick. As the ground is split beneath.
Okay. Well, I have advantage.
You can gain an additional advantage from the leadership dice. So you have 2.
Oh, okay, cool. I have 2 advantage. Because I have Astucious in my mech, I am able to re-roll any a check that I make, check or save.
Is that one of the ones where you have to take the second result?
I don't remember. Let me check. Where is my frickin'... Yes.
Okay, got it. Astucious goes Saturday. There's about a 1.6% chance that this is actually going to work. Iriditus is like, are you sure you want to do this Saturday?
He wouldn't leave me behind. Okay. Here's my roll. Can I add anything to this?
It's going to be just your grit.
Just my grit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So... I got a 27.
Weekender. You launch off of different crystals, moving in casino, bouncing around. And you see Stahl falling. The worm and Stahl and the gravity well are falling into a hole. And you make it to Stahl. And you have a moment to act.
Did I just see Weekender jump after me towards what I know is certain death?
You see Weekender jumping after you to grab you.
I am planting my mech's hand on Casino's chest and saying, I said go, and flash lock on Weekender to knock them back as a reaction. Because I know this thing's about to explode.
There's a beeping noise coming from Wrath's mech, Boogeyman.
Mm-hmm.
And in a slow motion that only Zack Snyder could possibly pull off, you see I said go.
Because I'm a size 2 mech, and you are a person size.
And you see an explosion from behind Stall. Rocket being absorbed into the gravity well. The flash lock goes off. And Weekender, you get pushed back. And you see Ifrit going towards the explosion, all getting swirled in, and it is encompassing, and you see the gravity well is having trouble trying to take in all this different matter, but also this explosion, and there's a combustion happening, and there's a chemical reaction happening.
And as a final action, I'm going to activate my Type I system, boost to ram myself into this thing, shove it down further, and explosive vent the 4 heat that I just pulled to just get this thing as far down as possible.
I'm gonna say goodbye to. I gotta say goodbye to Saul on the comms. Sorry.
You see, 1 second, 1 moment. You see Weekender. You get rocketed back towards this hole that was formed by Pinto. And Pinto, you see Weekender come up, but Weekender starts getting pulled back in. I need you to roll a d20 check to try to grab Weekender.
I rolled a 10. Does my mastery of the squatch snatch...
the snatch squat technique?
Yeah.
I would say that would apply here.
+2.
That is... I was going to add an advantage. I got a 5 on that. So yeah.
You scoop under with Snake 433 and grab Weekender, lift them up and over. Stall. You encompass this thing, and you unrelease your vents and everything's bright, and there's noise happening all around you, and it is like an inferno. It is a true blaze as all this is going around you, and you can see your manager is trying to call you and sending messages. It's like, Stall, baby, I'm sorry, don't do this, what are you doing, Stall? And you see in your live stream chats, you're seeing HELLBEAST, 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 F in the chat.
And I kill the stream.
And you kill the stream, and it goes to your schedule, like the stream starting soon schedule kind of thing. And you have an open comm.
If I can even hear anything over the fucking noise, but...
And you hear one thing from Riker. Riker.
Stall. I'm sorry.
It's how it goes, right?
And in a brilliant flash, encompassing it into HELLBEAST, expunging your vents, all this combustion happening, the gravity well collapses in on itself. And there's a moment where it's just silence. And all that matter is just kind of floating, hanging in the air. And all you on the surface, and Weekender is pulled in by Pinto. And you can all kind of hear what's going on around you as you're hearing like splats happening as you see multiple of these insects kind of splatting and everything. And then the ground just lurches. As there is not on the scale of a supernova, but it looks like a supernova from that hole. And then the ground collapses in on itself. And you are left there, Oblivion Unit-01, without Stall Empyrean. And you can hear battle happening from behind. And you hear Heracles going, Oblivion Unit, do you hear me? Do you hear me?
We're here.
It seems like these things are... I don't know. They're falling apart. We gotta get back to base. Link up. And then you hear Dr. Marconi Speed go, "We need to all get off of the surface now. It is collapsing. The core is collapsing."
Dr. Speed, we need to evacuate, and you need to make sure you leave your research behind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No one needs to know what happened here.
I need you to roll me a d20, and you can use your leadership if you wish.
That's a +6, baby. Ooh. It's a 23. 23.
You just hear a click. Klaxons are sounding. Heracles goes, "Link up on me, Oblivion Unit, now." Malcolm starts swooping in. I need each of you to roll a d20 check to link up on the dropship.
Since I'm writing in ICEBOX, is Mac.
Oh yeah, you don't have to roll then. Yeah, you do not have to roll. Yeah.
I got an 18.
18?
20.
Sick. Weekender?
20.
20.
16.
16. You all take your grappling hooks and link up to the dropship. And you've pulled up, and the dropship has Garza on it. And as you pull through the Atmo of Corellia, you see multiple ships, whether they're NSC or NHC or NSF, pulling off. And you make it to a way station that the NHF had set up. Or the fucking NSF, sorry. The surface is starting to crack on the planet. For the first time, Corellia is seeing something other than ice as it starts crumbling. Pinto, you receive an email back. Just says SOS from Bran.
We gotta go. We gotta save him.
Heracles goes, "What?"
The people in the tunnels. We can't leave them behind.
What do you mean, people in the tunnels? We've got to get to the way station. We've got to get off the surface. There's
Anyone
people in the
coming with me?
tunnels?
When we chased after you, we found people in the tunnels. There were people living down there.
Malcolm. Yeah, boss? Turn us around. Pinto, using the email, I need you to give me a sensors check to see if you can track what part of the tunnels they are on the surface. If ICEBOX would like to help, you're allowed to
pass the
to
information
assist.
along to my technical expert
There you go.
and have them do it for me.
Can I add any skill triggers to it? Like hacking
yeah,
or
you can use
anything
hacking.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I add my grit?
Yes, add your grit, please.
Okay, that's a 20.
You find a point not too far off from where your original base was. It's about 160, 175 kilometers away. There's a hole in the ground. There was a wooden cover covering it. You open it and you slide down. I must note that the surface is cracking. There's ever-shifting fault lines that are growing now. The sky has turned a purple as the flame and the magma is mixing with the ice and the sky, and it's forming this hellish nightscape. You each go down the tunnel. Riker, you're in ICEBOX's mech. You slide down and you see a collection of people. Not a lot. There's about 30 of them. And they have these kind of like they're lancers that have been repurposed into drill cars, almost. And they're loading their things on them. And you all roll up, and some of them start getting scared and kind of getting away. And you see an old man with a beard and long hair that's been tied back into a bun that has a saber on his side. And he has a prosthetic leg, an arm, and he rolls up and he looks towards Pinto's mech. And he holds up a hand.
I'll open the front of my mech.
Mm-hmm.
What do we need to do?
We were going to dig deeper, try to see if we could dig somewhere else where we could get off. We just need to make sure we can get these people, maybe get them in the cars.
This place is crumbling. We have to go.
You have to get to the surface. We have a ship.
Okay, we'll try. You're going to have to help us, though. After a little bit, you dig and widen out the tunnel that you came down enough so that they can all fit out, and you push these drill cars out. Malcolm is there waiting with the dropship, and he says, "We're gonna have to leave the cars behind. Okay, we can't take all of them. We're gonna have to just load the people up in the ship. Load them up in the ship." It takes a little bit. I need one of you to roll me a d20 roll. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What are you doing, Riker?
Sorry. I have can I roll Leader Inspire to try to speed things up?
Yes, actually.
Try to inspire everybody and get them moving? Okay.
Go ahead and give me a roll.
It's a natural 19 plus 6, so 25.
So I need one of you to roll a d20 with a plus 8 to see how long... So with that bonus of speeding things up, to see how efficient things are happening. So I need one of you to
do it because I can re-roll.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm re-rolling that because it wasn't great. Okay, there we go. Plus 8 is 24.
Plus 8 is 24. Efficiently, quickly, you load everybody up. You attach all of your mechs that are still there to the dropship. Pinto, Bran is having you help put blankets out for everybody, getting ready as Malcolm is pulling away. As you make it to this waypoint station, all of you land, and Heracles says that he's going to contact Sonetta to get the nest to meet up here, to pick you all up. On this waypoint, the NHC have started to leave. They're making their way to their own flotilla, and the NSF are gathering their things, waiting for their reinforcements to arrive. You all get out of your mechs. They have refugees from these tunnels. Captain Lily Doyle asks you all to meet her at the command center. Before you go, you're all walking to the command center and you're stopped by Uno, flanked by Donald Lamius and Vyacheslav Han, Mona Naito, Killer Be Killed. And there's no Heflin Capcan to be found. Uno stops, signs hello. Where's Stahl? They sign. Where's Stahl?
Stahl didn't make it.
They sign. That's sad to hear. And they turn. And they nod at you, Riker. And they turn. And they start to walk off. Mona looks at Cinder. And just kind of nods. starts to walk off. Donald looks at you, Drift, and goes, "Hey, mate.
Yeah.
You still, you still owe me a pass at you on DDR, okay?"
Bet I got you.
All
There's a
right.
lot of shit going on. I got you later, though.
All right.
I think when Mona turns around, Cinder sends her a message because she got some of her comms info.
Yeah.
And just says, another time. And that's it.
See the sent delivered scene, and then just a selfie that's just a thumbs up with a smile. Veroslav walks over to Riker and Weekender and Pinto and just touches a hand on Riker's face and just nods, does the chin up to Weekender, and then extends a hand like the Predator handshake to Pinto.
Oh, you bet I'm taking that. And I'll tell him that technique you taught me saved one of my comrades' lives.
The snatch squat technique is one of the most useful things that you will learn in the field. I'm glad that it has been used for good use.
I'll never forget that time we spent together in that shower.
I shall hold on to it fondly. Emil.
Hug. He's just hugging him now.
Hug. Killer B sends a message to you, Weekender, and goes, "Down the road, I need to talk to you. There might be an opportunity for you." They all walk away. You make your way to this war room, and you see Lily Doyle and Dr. Marconi Speed sitting there, staring at the feed of Corellia collapsing in on itself. Doyle goes, "Well, this is a mess." Dr. Speed goes, "Why was there a reason you wanted me to abandon my research?"
Saturday's just going to stare Dr. Speed dead in the eyes with, like, still the remnants of their ugly crying from while they were rescuing the people out of the tunnels, and just, like, mascara running down their face.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, at this point, just no emotion on their face whatsoever. Just stare them dead in the eyes and go, "I know you saw Stahl's feed when we were talking to Rasputin. You know why. You had the larva. We're not stupid. Stahl's not going to have died for nothing."
Do you understand how much that information, that study could excel us?
Can I punch Dr. Speed in the face?
Oh, I was gonna say, Cinder's gonna scream at him. Or them.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll a d20 for me, please, Riker.
I'm rolling assault.
Quick question. Are we still technically under contract?
Contract has been complete.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 12. I'm punching Dr. Speed in the face.
Dr. Speed, Captain Doyle goes, "What the f-" Calm down.
That was for Stahl.
Look. Whatever you think you know, whatever that crazy old man told you, alright? We were doing it for the greater good, okay?
Oh, fuck off.
That crazy old man, Pinto's gonna punch him.
Punches Captain Lily Doyle, roll d20.
That is an 18.
18. Punches Captain Lily Doyle. They're both holding their jaws. They go, "Get out of here. Take your money and get out of here, you fucking mercenaries.
If I find out you have that research, it's not going to go well for you. And that's a promise.
Storyteller, I have a question.
Yeah.
Does the Vulture Brigade have any sort of salute that they do?
They do, yes. It is like a hand, almost like that. Like touching like that. Like that.
Saturday's gonna do that, and while doing that, walk backwards out of the room like Drill walking backwards into hell facing God, and say, "Profit over prosperity," and then just leave the room and go back to their mech.
Pinto is going to follow the example, thinking everyone's going to do it. And it's sort of cool group walkout.
All right, and so Drift does the thing where he like raises his eyebrows, does the thing, and just walks out.
They shake their head.
I'm gonna rip my jacket off, make sure everybody knows that my gun is loaded, and then leave.
Just do like rip your jacket off, put it down on the table, check your firearm, make sure there's a round in the chamber, put it back in your holster, and then grab your jacket and toss it over your shoulder, and turn and leave. Leaving Cinder.
Cinder just does the salute and then leaves, but like definitely stares menacingly at Speed before leaving, because she will find out.
The flotilla arrives, the nest arrives. Malcolm gets all the refugees, your mechs, back on board. You see Velma Zim, Declan Ibanez, and Constantine Wu kind of standing when you all arrive. And Velma goes, "Jesus fucking Christ. Oblivion Unit, huh?"
Saturday is going to walk up into her face and say, "I don't need your shit right now," and keep walking.
And you just see Velma do that shudder when you see a man get talked down to by a woman that's 9 foot tall and a vampire. Velma just does that like, whew. And Declan, who looks kind of like me with the denim vest and like a fucking, kind of like a beer belly and everything, just kind of stands aside. And Constantine just does the salute to you all as you walk through.
Yeah, Cinder returns it to Constantine.
We're going to go one by one and do outros. I've got an order. We're going to start with Saturday. Saturday, you make it back to your room. What are you doing?
Crying.
That is a free action.
Crying is a free action, yes. And then probably once they get themselves like under control, you know what? I know exactly what Saturday's gonna do. One of the downtime actions is called "Get a Damn Drink." I think that's what's happening.
Amazing. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me, please, as you get a damn drink.
That's gonna be a 11.
An 11. All right. 1 second. Let me go ahead and do that. Nope. That is the wrong thing. Nope. I just want to make sure that I get the right. All right. Get it. There we go. He's got an 11. You're sitting there and you're drinking. And the bar on the nest is, imagine the cantina in Tatooine. It's got that kind of circular bar. Everybody can kind of see each other. There's TVs all around. It's very much like a fucking Dave and Buster's, but for mercenaries that have mechs. And you look across the bar, and Velma Zim is sitting there and stands up and walks over to you and motions over a bartender and orders a Zarkeesian moon salt, which is essentially just a very strong tequila shot that is lit on fire. And they put one in front of you and they hold it up and they say, to Stall Empyrean.
Saturday will nod and toast and kick it back.
They drink. And they offer you their hand.
Saturday will reluctantly take it.
And they walk you towards the door and they say, so tell me about those drones. And we see you two walking off down, imagine like the Citadel on Mass Effect. There's like that nice little dome over, and there's like artificial trees and everything like that, and waterfalls. And we see you all walking. The camera pans over, and we go to the mech bay. And ICEBOX, you're unpacking things. And you're kind of cleaning out where Riker was in your cockpit on this new mech. You receive a message from Matthias Herschel, and it's a voice message, and it just goes, now look here, Missy. When I figured that you could go ahead and hold on to that thing, I figured you were going to at least let me have a little bit of diagnostics, but seeing as how you folded the whole goddamn planet in on itself, it looks like you're going to have to come and visit us at our headquarters. I think we have a very lucrative opportunity for you.
She would like chuckle a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then she wouldn't call. I don't think she would call back, but she would send a message back that just says, "Would appreciate the opportunity. Send me some information and we can set up a time. I'm sorry, you won't be getting the other one back." And then it just says, "Cheers, Cinder."
You send that, and you're looking through and you're grabbing the last of things so you can make your way back to your room. And you notice that there's a compartment. It's almost like a glove compartment that you didn't notice before because you're kind of focused on destroying a massive worm. Do you open it?
Yeah, I open the glove compartment.
You see a pair of reflexive aviator glasses with a tag that's safe for Cinder on them. They're anti-photon visors, just like Stall's, but they fit you.
I think she when she initially holds him, I think she crumbles a little bit because she remembered there was so much that she wanted to talk to him about. Like she knew about him. She has that data. She knew. And she wanted to talk to him, but there wasn't time. There's never time. But I think she pops the aviators on immediately, and then heads off to her room after a kind of a moment of a little bit of a breakdown.
And you receive one more message as you put the aviators on. You walk away to your room, and it's from Mona Naito, and says, "There's always room in my cabana back home. No beach volleyball this time, though."
She would laugh, again, a small but shallow chuckle because this is a lot happening at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think she would send a selfie back with finger guns.
Mm-hmm.
With the sunglasses on and say, "Count me in."
The bisexual finger guns with Stall Empyrean style anti-photon aviators on. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
The camera pans through out of the Met garage as you're walking back to your room, and we go to a space deck. And we see a... How's Drift feeling right now? How's Corolla feeling right now?
Kind of like slightly bummed out that Stall didn't make it.
You are looking through these kind of things that you've kind of collected over the past couple of days there in Corellia, and you receive a notification. And it's from an unknown number. It's a voice message.
Click. Let it rock.
Corolla 11. You thought you were done with racing? You thought you could just leave? I've been keeping an eye on your exploits. I watched Stallimperian stream, and I saw you. I just want to let you know, Corolla, you may try to get out, but I'm dragging you back. I'll be in contact, Corolla. You're gonna want to listen to what I have to offer you. Because if you don't, your family's gonna pay for it. Signed, Angel. And it clicks off. And there is a coordinates that takes you to an outer rim planet. It's a mostly city planet called Middle Heaven. And then there's just a picture of your mother, elderly, old, sitting at her table, drinking tea. And it seems like it was taken through the window, like somebody had taken a photo from afar. The camera pulls back, and we get to Pinto's room. Pinto, what are you doing?
Well, I think he'd be going to Stall's room, and then drinking the last of the minibar bottles he took from the, because Stall always liked the good things. And then he'll head back to his room and literally just throw everything onto the floor in anger.
There's a knock at your door. As you, amongst the clutter of all your things, and your door opens a crack, and you see Heracles Garza standing outside of it. Can we talk, Emil?
Come on in.
He walks in, and you see everything strewn about. And he goes, "Thank you."
For what?
For suggesting that we go back and save those people. And thank you for, as much as you don't think you are, being a benefit to this team. Berserker unit lost somebody in their skirmish, and they need a scout sniper. Tolstoy is sending me with them, which means there's going to be a need for somebody to step up, and it's either going to be you or Riker. Or maybe you would like to recommend one of your team.
I mean, I would recommend Riker for it.
Makes sense.
But I do have a staffing suggestion.
Yes.
If we can. Did you meet Anatoly? The mechanic?
The mechanic from the NSF?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good with making do with almost nothing. Imagine what he could do with our resources.
I'll send an offer.
Thank you.
Malcolm would appreciate the company. You're gonna need it. And I'll reach out to Riker too.
Thank you.
Emil?
Yes.
You're a good soldier. But you're an even better person. And he looks around your quarters and he goes, clean this shit up. It looks like a mess. And he turns and walks out. Finally, we cut to Riker. Riker, what are you doing?
So, for Riker, it's been a couple of days. He's been locked up in his quarters, drinking, leaning over his sink, cracked bathroom mirror, glass and blood from his left hand, and a fresh tattoo on his neck. Stahl's emblem covering up the Octopus logo. He's really unkempt, hasn't seen anybody in a couple of days. Spits into the sink. Says, "Fuck the Vulture Brigade."
You receive a message. It's from Uno.
Listen to it.
It's robotic. It's like text-to-speech. He goes, Riker, I hope this finds you well. We found some work in the Outer Rim. We're going to be working around the Middle Heaven, that system, doing a couple odd jobs here and there. While the NSF might have abandoned their research, the NHC is still out there, and they're still using us. I'd like to meet with you whenever we can.
He'll respond immediately. I'm just gonna send a thumbs up emoji.
And they send using dashes and dots, you know, when you make a picture out of text.
ASCII.
Two pinkies forming like that. And we pull out of the nest, hanging in space, making its way to its next journey, wherever that may be. And that is where we are going to call this season, this series, a Crack the Sky Alpha. Thank you for hanging in, everybody. If we can have our very own Stallimperian show back up, please. There he is. Congratulations, you all. We did it. We didn't think we could do it, but we did it. I would like to thank, before we go through announcements and we go through everybody giving their outros and everything like that, personally, I would like to thank Oz for bringing a character that is vulnerable and allowing to be vulnerable on stream. I would like to thank Leslee for running with things and being willing to dig a little bit deeper and work with other plot lines and move things around. I would like to thank Ben for playing a character that I have not seen Ben play before, someone that is soft-spoken and quiet but has a lot of heart. I would like to thank Zach for fully diving in to HELLBEAST and really making that character a character and going 110% with it. I would like to thank Zeke. They have brought a lot of knowledge to this system, and they kept me on my toes every single battle and every single interaction, and I can't wait to see what else I have to think of to get around your brilliant thinking. And I would, of course, like to thank the phasing octopus here, Derek, who is a dear friend of mine, and this is his first tabletop that he has ever played, and for trusting me and letting me have him on and joining this ragtag group. Yeah, I'd like to thank Derek because fuck y'all, that's why. just like Getagami said, first tabletop game ever, and you killed it, dog. And I can't wait to have you involved in more. And I'd like to thank you all for watching and being involved. It's kind of breakneck speed and pace. But yeah. I would like these wonderful people to go ahead and tell you where you can find them and things that they have coming up. And then
we're not doing that. We're not doing that tonight. Tonight, what we're doing is we're just going to say thank you, Wes. I wanted to... So this whole experience reminded me personally a lot of like when I was a kid and I would do community theater and meet all these amazing, wonderful people. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity I've had to do this with you guys. It's been so much fun. And I wanted to end it kind of like how we used to end community theater, which was always a gift to the director. So we all chipped in and we got you some stuff that is lost in the mail right now, but I'm gonna bring it to your place next week when it gets here. But it's from everybody. We just wanted to say thank you for all the hard work that you put into this game. I know that we've been through some tech issues and crunching writing and learning an entirely new system that none of us have ever played before. You have new players, and also just I really specifically want to thank you for your really eclectic and fun NPCs, and for your amazing eye for representation. So thank you so much for everything you've done.
Thanks. Yeah,
we love you, Wes.
Yeah, thank you.
Good game.
Good game. Yeah. Sick. So if you need to catch up, you can find this on YouTube, and you can find each and every single one of these wonderful people at the tags underneath their names. You can see Zachary Vaudo on ATL by Night, and I think you should follow that show. It's a wonderful show, and follow them on YouTube and Twitch. You can see Leslee on multiple shows here, as well as Hot Garbage Gaming Podcast. You should follow them. And thank you, Leslee, for the work that you're doing on the podcast here for Carrion Covenant Archives. You can find Derek at Phasing Octopus on Twitter, or The Phasing Octopus in other places, especially on Twitch. I swear to God, if y'all don't go listen to that man's music and watch that man's Twitch stream, I'm going to come to your houses personally. I'm going to make you watch it because it's great stuff. And the man puts so much work into what he does, and it needs to be recognized. You can find Ben at Danger McJeebus running multiple games, including Cypress and Steel coming up this Wednesday, as well as Heart, the City Beneath, Descended Drum Beats every other Saturday. They're off this Saturday, so you can take the time to watch the past episode on YouTube when it's uploaded. He does a great job, and he runs wonderful games, and you can tell when you see his players. And you can find Zeke at We Are Games, as well as Firefly Systems. They are a wonderful mod. They are a wonderful friend. And they are going to be running a Lancer play-by-post campaign in the Discord server. That the applications are still open, and I'm going to be playing alongside. I know we have a few others, like Leslee, are going to be playing alongside, and it's a really well-written thing, and they've done a lot of work on it. And I'm not usually into play-by-post, but I think this would be really cool because I want to see Lancer done play-by-post. So if you want more Lancer, you can go ahead and do that. I'm not going to take up too much more time. But I do have an announcement at the end. So we are going to be returning in the distant future. We will have more details as we get later to it, and we all talk amongst and figure out a good time. But Crack the Sky Alpha is based on a Mastodon album called Crack the Sky, where the drummer Brand Daler wrote a whole concept album about time traveling through and dealing with guilt and trauma and grief, about losing a loved one, and Rasputin was the main villain, and it's a great album. You should listen to it. And next album is an album that is very near and dear to my heart. Each of these albums are very near and dear to my heart, but this one was very formative to me, and I think it really fits the tone for what we're going to be doing. And if you haven't noticed, Crack the Sky is not the title of the show. That it is dash. It is underscore like blank dash dash alpha is the title of the show, because I can't do things normally. And I'm not going to say it here, but I'm going to play a song, and I'm going to cut to a screen, and it is going to show exactly what album it is, and I hope you will all join us when it comes later. So I'd like to thank my cast. I would like to thank all of you for watching, and remember, comfort comes soon.
Yes, I love this fucking album.
Yes, sir. Toy like people make me boy like.
We're still up. Our audio's still up. Amazing.